Cool. Better get something going. Dun, dun, dun. How can people follow me? Someone's here. Look at that. We got Fifth Moon, Jonathan Jones. Hello. Happy New Year, everybody. You're in for a treat. Nikachu is learning how to stream with just minutes on the clock before New Year's, or at least in my Canadian Central Time. I get to see all the, I get to experience everything other streamers experience when streaming. Well, it looks like it's working. Doing it all off of YouTube because to hell with Twitch. I don't want to have anything to do with Twitch. Yeah. Happy New Year, everyone. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, how do I fix this? Okay, let's see. I'm a YouTuber. I'm not a streamer. I have been streaming for an entire like 1 minute. Are you using two microphones? I am not using two microphones. Oh, but there appears to be two microphones. Okay, I've killed something. What are the properties of this one? I don't want to kill the good microphone. Let's cancel this. What are the properties of this thing? Okay, that's the good microphone. I don't know what I've killed. But we got rid of something. How does it sound good? Oh, it's good now. It's good now because I got rid of the bad microphone. I don't know where it came from. Well, so let's see what happens when I do this. So now I have... how do I manage all this stuff? Now I'm full screen. Amazing. So I can like switch between. Do you know what? I take it back. OBS is a lot better than I gave it credit for. It's working a hell of a lot better for me now than it was when I fiddled around with it. It looked like something completely, not so user-friendly, but it's a lot more user-friendly than I think it is. I'm not a complete idiot. Happy New Year, Jesse Wooden. We've got, I don't know, what are you guys in for? This being a stream. Look, I haven't even notified anybody and everyone is here. How the hell do you all know? I've been streaming for like 3 minutes. Okay, hold on. Let's switch back. I'm on Magic the Gathering Online. We got the Master in Modern. We got the Mono Blue deck that I've been running. You got notifications. Look, YouTube does this all for me. I love YouTube. YouTube is great. YouTube warned you, Sweets channel. Yeah, I believe them. There's something I gotta be making like soon. I have to make like a poor folk video. I learned like I was looking at all the top YouTubers recently. I looked at a lot of YouTube channels, and the number one thing that seems to be incredibly popular are like budget decks. They want budget. People love budget. They want to know, how do I play Magic for as cheap as damn possible? And so, well, I should have like some poor folk build, but the problem is Gemstone Cabin. So here's my poor folk in Modern from like a long time ago. Here's Gemstone Caverns. This thing's like $10 now. It's like, it's not poor at all. This thing is like a rich man's card, so this card is no good. Judge's Familiar is garbage. Do I have Mausoleum Wanderer in my inventory? Oh, I do! Add 4 to deck. Take out Judge's Familiar. This is just better because they trigger off each other. If I put like Judge's Familiar into Judge's Familiar, it doesn't do anything. Just doesn't do anything. But Mausoleum Wanderer pumps up other Mausoleum Wanderers. That's a bonus. Did I hear something about a 2-mana Lord that's going to be printed? I didn't hear anything. I heard that there is a Merfolk that can't be blocked by dinosaurs. It's useless. It's pretty useless. So, I'm expecting really big things out of Ixalan. Let's talk about Ixalan. Okay, let's get out of here. Let's go to scene 3. Let's put the focus on me. Ixalan is going. Rivals of Ixalan is going to be huge, I think, for Merfolk, because there was a developer on the set who said that they're giving something big for Merfolk and Legacy. I didn't think that the developers, R&D had any more influence on the Eternal formats, because I heard a bunch of interviews where they said, no, we made huge mistakes with Deathrite Shaman and Mental Misstep and all these other stupid cards. We shouldn't be making any more cards for these formats. We should let them like naturally integrate into the Eternal formats. And I thought, well, they're not paying attention to Eternal formats at all, but do you know what? They are. They specifically said they made a card for Legacy Merfolk. Legacy Merfolk. And we can only expect that this card is going to be modern legal. We can only expect. And so I'm expecting something pretty big coming out. And I can't imagine it's going to be Simic if it's specifically for Legacy, unless it's like so good that we're willing to splash Tropical Island. So I'm expecting something pretty good coming out of this set. And do you know what? I think we got a lot of good cards. We can't cry. I mean, let's go to the scene. Like, we got Kumena Speaker. We got Merfolk Branchwalker. We also got Water Trap Weaver. I mean, I thought I would never play like something like this. I thought, competing with Master Waves, this thing's not better. But we can play all 3 of these cards. It's not that big of a deal, and I had a lot of success with this card. So, I mean, we got some playable treats out of Ixalan, and we can only expect some more bombs coming out of Rivals of Ixalan. So, yes, Henry, it's still pretty cheap. Gemstone Caverns is still pretty cheap on Magic the Gathering Online. So is everything is cheap on Magic the Gathering Online except Lord of Atlantis. This thing's like $15 or something. It's ridiculous. So Jonathan Jones, I certainly don't want to see budget from Nikachu. The deck isn't that expensive. What's the point of Merfolk without Lords? No, well, we would play with Lords. Like here, like in Poor Folk, and we Lord. The thing is, you don't play with Cavern of Souls, you don't play with Aether Vial. Those are the single most expensive things in the deck. And you know what? The budget card for Aether Vial is Gemstone Caverns, although not a lot of people want to admit it. But I don't even think you need to play with this at all. There were a lot of discussion on Reddit, like, oh, Aether Vial is like everything. I mean, no, it's not. It's like saying I won't win a single game of Merfolk unless I have Aether Vial in my hand, but that's not true. We win tons of games without Aether Vial. Now, at a high level, yeah, you need Aether Vial because, I mean, it's good for getting around counter spells. It's good for having a really wide range against your opponent. Any untapped Vial makes it very difficult for our opponents to attack into us. And, of course, it makes our hand more mana efficient, and we can keep up more counter spells while deploying creatures if we have a Vial out. But it doesn't mean the deck is unplayable without it. So, but yeah, like, on a budget, you can still get Lord of Atlantis, Master of the Proton, Mara Regery. I bet I could make this deck like $80. Like Merfolk's, like Mara Regery is like $3 to $5, but Merfolk Sovereign is only like 25 cents or 10 cents. Like Merfolk Sovereign. There it is. By the way, Nikachu, I don't have them close to me, but Nikachu has foil Japanese copies of this card because I playtested with this thing once, and it was just like a normal Lord. So if there was ever a metagame where we need like, I don't know, 20 Lords, this thing is perfectly playable. It was not that much different from Mara Regery. Usually it dies just as much as Mara Regery does. Falling back on the chat here. So... Elian, I would love to see some modern viable vampires. Well, do you know what? Maybe it's possible, but no one's ever like put in the effort of making it work. So Sweet's channel, I just bought into modern mono blue Merfolk. I'm really confident that the next block will benefit us. Oh, it absolutely will. Can't see how it couldn't. Water Trap Weaver has been super good to us. Oh, it's been super great to me. I love cards that help our worst matchups. Playable against Titan Shift, although not amazing, but still pretty good to lock down a Titan. But so good against Affinity. I don't even feel like we're an underdog anymore. It's completely leveled the playing field. Yeah, that's right. 20 Lords. It's possible. Bunch of well, I mean, yeah, so Lord, Master of the Pearl Trident, Mararegery, Merfolk Sovereign, and then like Phantasmal Image. Just lord them out. Super lord them out. Anything you guys want to see? We got like, I could play a league or something. So we got Merfolk in Modern. We've got Poor Folk, although I'll have to shrink it even budget further. We got Tropical Merfolk. I have 8 Cs, although what am I missing here? Something's not right. 58 cards in the main deck. That's what's wrong. And we got we got Swordfish and Legacy. Swordfish and Legacy going to be the new exciting thing that I hope to bring to Legacy. Stoneforge Mystic. I played another match with this thing and I won. I beat Grixis Control, which is a matchup I lose constantly. Stoneforge Mystic was Batterskull was great in that matchup. Swords to Plowshares was great killing Gurmag Angler. So good. You guys want to see Tropical Merfolk? Let's see a vote. Does anyone... I don't know how to start votes here. I just started this thing. I could show Tropical Merfolk. Can we see Tropical Merfolk? Man, I would love to see some Tropical Merfolk. Okay, we'll see some Tropical Merfolk. Tropical Merfolk. Looks good. I don't think I would change anything. No vote, run at this as a dictatorship. I believe in that too. Okay, everyone wants to see... Well, I don't know about everyone, but enough people want to see Tropical Merfolk. It certainly has fallen apart in the hands of a lot of people, but has also taken a lot of people to new victories. So I think I'm going to be... All of my leagues on stream should end up being friendlies, just because I think I can beat... what's it called? I'm pretty sure I can beat Ghosters in friendlies. I don't think I can beat them in competitive leagues, though. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nikachu's first literally streamed match of Merfolk. What kind of decks does Merfolk have the most trouble with? I want to buy into it. Okay, well, first off, you can never beat Lantern Control. It's impossible. I have a 0% win rate against that deck. I have literally lost, and I've played like 30 times. Titan Shift is poor if you're not prepared for it. This hand's playable. A little mana heavy, but Spreading Seas and some Lords are good. We'll keep. Okay, good. I can see how far I must move the chat. We're up against Eldrazi and Taxes. Okay. My opponent good luck. Jonathan Jones, I think a single forest is a catastrophe. I really don't believe in that, because you have to warp your... one forest is just one too many. It's just brown mana that's unnecessary. And I also think that... I know, I understand you're trying to play around Blood Moon, but I don't think that's the way to play around Blood Moon. A lot of people were playing around Blood Moon by getting the forest out, but I think you should just side out all the green creatures and then be less reliant on green spells. I think that's the proper way to play around the whole thing. So we're going to tick up the vial to 2. We're going to tick it up to 1. I'm going to Spreading Seas this right now because one of our... Oh, well, they have Tide Hollow Sculler online anyway. But I think I'm going to still nail this. Gives them less things to take. I mean, if they want to, they can Tide Hollow Sculler. Only one of 2 cards right now. Let's see. How do I make this chat larger? Very excited for the new set. Expecting a blue-green Lord. I'm expecting some sort of Lord. Henry, someone gonna ghost me eventually. Not today, because, you know, it's New Year's Eve or whatever. But one day. You got Alex got annihilated at the last RPTQ with Tropical Merfolk. I'm off of it. Do you know what? A lot of people are off of it. Totally understandable. It's not for everybody. Like, basically half the community are now on Tropical Merfolk, half are off, and I will be offering sideboard guides and playthroughs of both decks because I believe in both decks. I certainly believe Tropical Merfolk was probably really well positioned somewhere between like July and the end of October. There's the Tide Hellskuller that I was trying to play around with the Spreading Seas. I'm going to take my Water Trap. We're a little land heavy. 6 mana sources and not a whole lot of things to take. Let's see what we got here. Rejection or Hurkyl's Recall against Affinity? Elian? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Got annihilated. Oh, you're talking about Lantern Control. No, Lantern Control, they can just strip your hand with hand removal spells. They can then completely tear the top of your deck. They have control over the top of your deck. They have control over what goes in your hand. So it doesn't matter. Like, you can put 16 cards of hate in your deck, like between the main deck and the sideboard. It doesn't really matter all that much. It doesn't change much. Oh, great, we have a second Lord. All right, so let's get this Lord online. Merfolk. I'm not going to play fetches and crack them just to thin my deck. I don't really believe in that. I'm glad I can entertain you, Rillian. I know the feeling of sitting at the airport. I've got like 5 hours to do nothing, and I also watch streams and stuff like that, so you can come watch the Nikachu stream. The Nikachu stream. The YouTube interface is so bad you have to make the screen really small to have the chat on the side. Basically. Man, I skimmed the top 8 of elves at a... What is going on here? I think... Oh, they are putting the trigger on the stack to put it on... Whoa. Uh-oh. Okay, they're coming after... They're coming for me, people. They're coming for me. So let's get the Master of the Pearl Trident into the battlefield. They can take the Water Trap Weaver. It's really important to have Lords and Island Walk in these matchups. It's more important than anything else. You need to be able to... The game is usually just about a bunch of board stalls, and you just have to get through them. Unfortunately, we don't have any... Well, we do have some good ways. We could draw, what's it called, Harbinger of the Tides to bounce this thing and then put this thing into play. What's going on here? Do you plan on updating your sideboard guide? Pierce Svek, I update my sideboard guide every single month, so you can always expect something new every month. How has Tropical Merfolk Rise been for the content? I'd imagine really good for you. Tropical Merfolk has been incredibly debatable, Jonathan. Incredibly debatable. People don't know if it's great or terrible. I think there's a lot of pessimism in the community, though. Oh my God, there's a lot of people who just wanted it to burn in the first place. And personally, I didn't really want it to be that great either, but it impressed me in a lot of ways. Like Merfolk, I think actually I should have tried this league with Master of Waves. I think Master of Waves would actually be good in this deck. I know it's lacking some devotion, but the fact Merfolk Branchwalker helps cast it on turn 4 like more consistently than ever before. That's not bad. All right, let's get this in play. Yeah, I can't actually cast this thing. So what I would really like to be, I would like to draw a Merfolk to tap down the Caves of Koilos to take... well, that's great. More darn land. I'm not going to attack because if my opponent has Path to Exile, I'm going to get blown out by a block on the Thalia. Path to Exile and Master of the Pearl Trident, block on Mirror Rejury, it's going to be terrible. My brother is... Hey, let's message my brother. Maybe he's awake. Tell him to come over. Where is my brother? Where is my brother? I'm streaming live. Come join. Maybe he'll get the message, maybe he won't. But I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and right now it's like minus 40 degrees Celsius outside, so I had some plans for New Year's, but I said, no, I'm not going to go because it's just deadly cold. Thought not seer, joke's on you. I don't have anything good to take. Loser. Wah, 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 wah. Tron is life. Tron is love. Some people love Tron, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm having trouble managing the chat. The chat doesn't go very long. Like it's like a small box for me. I hate it. Yes. Well, you know what? Lantern, um, Wreath Red, like Lantern is actually a little bit more manageable now because of the whirl of invention, because we have actually some interaction for that. Like we have dispel for that sort of thing. So, you know, it's not totally it's become a little bit more playable. Fantastic, more lands. And then this is how a lot of games go. Like it's just a standoff. And I still can't even attack with the Silvergill Adept because if they kill one Lord, then Thought-Knot Seer eats it. It's also possible that my opponent has Flicker Wisp in hand, and at the right moment they'll just flicker the Spreading Seas. Annoying. Very annoying. Uh-oh. This sort of still represents everything they have. I could triple block the Thought-Knot Seer, but I'm not going to this turn. I'll try to do it next turn. I could triple block, and if they kill one thing, two things will trade with Thought-Knot Seer, and it's not that big of a deal. I go with, Austin Henry, old art with Silvergill Adept all the way. I think the new art, I'm not a fan of the promo, but I think the new art looks really good. I like detailed imagery, but like this thing looks gorgeous anyway. This was detailed. I love the lights. It looks like something out of like Spirited Away or something. Spirited Away, a great movie. I need to save time. I need to put stops everything. There we go. There's Lord of Atlantis. That's what I wanted to see. I guess I am going to tap Shambling Vents, just in case they want to activate it. So if they play Flicker Wisp and flicker a Shambling Vents, they can't activate the Shambling Vents to block. And so I'm going to attack with the Meroregery and the Silvergill Adept. Seems like the most safest attacks I can make. And let's see if our opponent actually has the goods. Do you have something? What is this? A white and a blue? Or, well, I mean a colorless, I guess. No, it's Path to... the Thalia, of course. Okay, so they had Path to Exile, just like I thought. It's all good. It's all good. So we hit for 7, which is not trivial. Oh, you had everything? You have Flicker Wisp as well? That's not fun. Well, I didn't consider that, eating my Lord of Atlantis. But if they had everything, I was losing anyway, so I don't feel too bad about losing this game. If they had everything, then they had everything. And we should lose everything. We're gonna get a Water Trap Weaver. It's not terrible. Alright, Weaver. Get back to weaving. Weave this thing. So this is sort of a matchup where maybe we'd prefer... do it. This is not... Well, no, this is pretty terrible. There's a Shambling Vents. We're horribly outnumbered. Do you know what? If they attack with the Thought-Knot Seer, we'll double block, trade the Thought-Knot Seer, draw a card. That's not bad. Could be worse, people. Could be worse. I don't know, it's hard to say they got lucky, but the number one thing I like to do in these Eldrazi and Taxes matchups is be as patient as possible. There's just so much blowout potential with Thalia, Flicker Wisp, Path to Exile, and stuff, and all those things that I don't want to get greedy. I'll tell you what is lucky for them. I'm drawing all my mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sources of mana. We've had like 5 threats, so we are... Oh, you want me to pay 2, that's fine. Keep a card in my hand just to bluff. I don't want to fetch Flooded Strand because thinning the deck is worth not much. It's worth like more. It's like worth, I don't know, 8% of my life total just to reduce the chance of drawing a land by just a smidge, you know, just a smidge. It's not worth it. You draw one land out of the deck, but there's still a billion more left in the deck. What's it gonna be, man? What's it gonna be? Activate Shambling Vent? I won't be thrilled if that happens. Okay. Shambling Vent online. What's going on here? Okay, sort of feels like they're representing Flicker Wisp again. If I double block Thought Nets here, they'll Flicker Wisp take something away, but I can't play around that. I'm like losing, so I think that my best choice is to block the Shambling Vent with Water Trap Weaver. Hope that they don't have Flicker Wisp when they're just making an aggressive attack. Because no matter what I do, I get blown out. I mean, I guess I could take 8 damage. Oh yeah, there's also that line. Wasteland Strangler is also a thing. Wasteland Strangler is also a thing. That thing is annoying. The most annoying and so here's the situation where Master of Waves would be lovely, but we don't have it in our deck because it's the only thing that could give us another land, some incredible comeback potential. Anyway, I don't think whatever. We'll pass the turn. Threaten Harbinger of the Tides or something, but I mean, they have no choice but to attack with basically everything. They don't have anything to lose. But maybe they'll show me something I don't know. So far the deck looks incredibly stock. Okay, Shambling Vent coming into the red zone again. Wreath Red. Nikachu, is it possible to shrink the screen a little so we can see the opponent's hand? Oh, it's out of range. I bet I can. Let's see what we can do here. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to move this down. There we go. Alright, let's begin sideboarding. Great point. This is all an experiment, people. Oh, I hate how they do this by default. Display, card view. I always forget to do that on my YouTube channel. There we go, we get to see everything. So, what do we want against this deck? Basically none of this stuff. Okay, Gut Shot's not bad because it kills Thalia, it kills Flicker Wisp, and it kills... That's enough things, to be honest. And a few Ceremonious Rejections are usually okay. Cards we don't want. Spell Pierce is super trash. To be honest, I think I want everything else, so I might end up doing away with Ceremonious Rejection. It's not very good when your opponent has seen the card. I could take out one Vial. Or, no, I can take out a land. I could take out one Fetch land. Because this is a Path to Exile deck. So we could make our deck a smidge more threat dense. Anyway, so we could do that. Oh shoot, it's a Path to Exile deck, but it's also a Hate Bears deck, so you could go either way on it. Because sometimes they'll just kill us with Ghost Quarter and Lean Arbiters. And our hand doesn't have enough mana. We're going to mulligan. Our hand has enough mana. This hand is really good, actually. Think there's room in the sideboard in Tropical for Tidebinder? Oh, there's room, but it's just not positioned very well right now. Tidebinder Mage is way better than Harbinger of the Tides, in my opinion. We'll put... We can put Branchwalker on the top, I guess. Or not. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess we're going to lose it. Because I'm definitely going to crack this Misty Rainforest for a something. We'll get Breeding Pool. And now to play around Tide Hallow Sculler and other things, I'm going to play Spreading Seas first. I'm pretty aggressive with the Spreading Seas against this deck. They don't have too many colored sources. I mean, they have colored sources, but not as many as you would think. So Tidebinder Mage, I really like Tidebinder Mage, but there's just not enough. There's like some green decks, like the Ponza deck uses Mana Dorks. Elves is a little bit of a thing. I don't think we need it against Burn. I think just a bunch of counterspells is more than enough. Okay, so the most important thing against Eldrazi, any sort of Thought-Knot Seer deck, is I think you want to get the Lords out first. Your route to winning is going to be Island Walk, and if I place it, for example, something like Merfolk Branchwalker, our opponent plays a creature, and then next turn I play Lord of Atlantis, then our opponent can play Thought-Knot Seer and take the other Lord. I would rather have both these Lords in play first before putting out Silvergill Adept or Merfolk Branchwalker. So let's get them in play. Play Mutavault. Maybe I'll even attack with it next turn. Okay. Gonna get ramped up. Maybe we'll play Branchwalker and Lord of Atlantis next turn. Unfortunately, our opponent has double white. It's not pleasant to see. Means they can get Flicker Wisp online. Eldrazi Displacer sometimes can be Chaos, sometimes not. So we're going to start off with Merfolk Branchwalker into Lord of Atlantis. Did I misplay a land? Like I had this in my hand before. I should have played that last turn. So I'm not going to get punished this turn, but I mean there was potential for being punished. I'll just play this out and play the Lord of Atlantis. Again, I want to get this thing in play before it can be taken by a Thought-Knot Seer. Like in that last game, we could win very easily if the Island Walkers could just sit on the board long enough. Wasteland Strangler is going to eat up the Lord of Atlantis, and now this game is going to be very difficult because I don't really have a good way of killing the Eldrazi Displacer. Alright, we're going to get hit for 3. It's got Water Trap Weaver. How many things are in exile? We've got... Oh no, that's not in exile. Nothing's in exile. Great. So I guess we'll start with Silvergill Adept. Yeah. Show another Silvergill Adept. Very likely going to play this thing. Ooh, that's great. Merfolk. I just hope our opponent does not have a Path to Exile. And if they do, whatever. Let's see if we can get in for 3 with Island Walk. We have Gutshot. Beware, Flicker Wisp, beware. Okay, so they took the damage, so they're in trouble next turn, unless they have some... well, they have no Path to Exile. I gotta keep my eye on the clock. It's gonna be 8 minutes till it's New Year here. Here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. My New Year's resolution, try to stream some. Some being more than none. Well, here's Flicker Wisp. Super annoying card. It's going to take the courtyard thing away. That's fine. Not thrilled about this, but what we have got Gutshot in our hand. We can Gutshot something. We can Gutshot the Flicker Wisp, and then we can Wire Trap Weaver something down. Probably maybe the Wasteland Strangler, maybe the Eldrazi Displacer. We'll take a draw step and see what's up. So we'll kill the Flicker Wisp. Courtyard comes back. Get a branch walker. I guess what I should be doing is I have to tap down this thing because they can't exile it themselves. They can't exile the Eldrazi Displacer with its own ability because it's always it's exile another target creature. Phenomenal one. Do you know what? I have not thought about streaming on Twitch because do you know what? Twitch has not done anything for my life, and YouTube at least has. And I don't know if this is the best outlet, but do you know what? It was very easy. Trying to stream on Twitch looked really complicated, and there looked like a lot of like rules, and Gabby Sparts had this incredibly long video about how to make it work, and I just sort of, like, YouTube just sort of guided me into it. So, yay YouTube, boo Twitch. Although Twitch, I'm sure, is very nice. It's helped a lot of other people. But, you know, this is the platform I'm on. And I don't know what do I want to do? Play Merfolk Branch? Like, I think I have to play the Water Trap Weaver, and then I attack with everything. This is 6-12 damage. That's not bad. That's good. That's a good amount of damage. Or I could play both. Let's cancel. Let's get some information then. If I'm gonna play both, let's get information. I'm tapping the mana all wrong. Who cares? Mara Reader, we're going to put that on top. That's some good information. Okay, I'll play the Water Trap Weaver. We're not going to cast Mutavault this turn. We're going to tap down the Eldrazi Displacer and then serve with everything. And do you know what? To be honest, if they block some of these things, if the Wasteland Strangler blocks any of these things, that's fine. I don't care. And there's no bloat potential. I can't get Path like it matters. I don't have Island Walk as it is right now. So 6 damage is going to get served. I just finished watching the Ixalan video. I already missed the dinosaur in a Merfolk deck. You could kill it in response to its enter the battlefield trigger, and then the land wouldn't get flickered, right? No, Sweet's channel. Unfortunately, that's not how the like when Flicker Wisp entered the battlefield, the trigger happens no matter what, whether the creature lives or dies, and we win. We win. We beat Eldrazi and Taxes on to game 3. Do I want that land? Maybe not. Everything worked out pretty well. There's some chance that our opponent sides out their Leon Arbiters, because in general they're pretty poopy against Merfolk. You know, trying to do the Ghost Quarter thing against Merfolk, not really where you want to be. Doesn't always work out. Gutshot was an all-star in that game. Do I want another Gutshot? Gutshot might be better than Ceremonious Rejection, especially on the draw. Ceremonious Rejection's garbage on the draw. Okay, we'll submit this. I can't imagine being in Winnipeg right now. Minneapolis is so miserably cold, even my Huskies didn't want to stay outside. Oh yeah, it's terrible here. And our hand, again, is sort of land heavy, but it's got Lords and Harbinger, so we're going to keep it. And it's got a Vial, so no complaints. Getting more Merfolk, that's good. Like, this matchup is all about Lords. So in that way, I think like Tropical Merfolk is in a better position than Mono Blue in this matchup. In some ways. In other ways, you know, you could say Mono Blue is better in some ways because of Master of Waves has that sort of boom potential, but I think Commander Speaker and a bunch of Lords is just much better here. Thoughts Not Seer arrives. They'll take something. And our hand is going to be pretty good no matter what they take. Harbinger of the Tides will be useful. I can cast off a Vial. I can cast all my creatures no matter what. Play them through Vial or cast them. And just having Lords are going to be great. They leave us with the Harbinger of the Tides and the Mara Reader. That is suspicious. Okay, I'm not going to block. I need these Lords. That's not bad. I don't want to attack into the Thought Not Seer, though. Just going to build a board. I could play Harbinger of the Tides on this Leon Arbiter, though. No, we'll wait. If our opponent plays Wasteland Strangler, that would suck. That would be terrible. So in case our opponent plays Wasteland Strangler and gives something -3/-3, we can flash in the Lord and everything will be sunshine and daisies and all that other stuff. Unless our opponent has Path to Exile, in that case we are crushed. We are crushed beyond belief. So let's hope we don't get blown out by Path to Exile. If there's no Path to Exile, then our opponent gets sort of blown out because this board is really big and it's really strong, and we're in position to play like Harbinger of the Tides, tap, bounce the Thought-Knot Seer, and then kill our opponent. Oh, no attack. Oh, we're in position, people. We are in good shape. That is the manabase.com get dunked on instant replay, that's for sure. That's a get the... Oh, we got Spreading Seas too. Oh, it's all... Everything is wonderful. Let's get it. Let's get this thing. Another Lord. This is incredible. I don't even know what to do with my hand anymore. I mean, I had a plan. I guess what I'm going to do is... I'm not going to hardcast the Harbinger, because if I tap bounce the Thought-Knot Seer, I'm going to draw a card. However, our opponent will replay the Thought-Knot Seer, and if I have 2 threats in my hand, they're going to get one of them. So what I can do is play the Lord of Atlantis. I can just tap down, say, Thought-Knot Seer. It's fine. And we will just attack for a ton. Like, they don't have Path to Exile. They weren't repping it. So we should be able... they would need to... Well, they can't do anything about this anyway. They would need, like, Dismember and Path to Exile, and they're obviously not representing either of them. That end of turn, I can just flash in Harbinger of the Tides, and it shouldn't be a problem. Patience, people. You got... Well, okay, this game has nothing to do with patience. We just drew a bunch of Lords. Which is what you want in this matchup. This matchup is all about Lords. This is such a... model game about how to beat Eldrazi taxes, what you want to do, how you want to approach this matchup. You Spreading Seas the colored sources, you get the Lords in play as soon as possible, and the last step is keep drawing Lords. You want to draw Lords like crazy. There is no coming back from this. Okay, so what do you think is the best way to get into Magic? Jump into a local game store, or rather play online a ton of stuff and register for a larger tournament, or a mix of both? You start at the local game store. The online game is like not user-friendly, it's not community-based. This is a good place to go when you decide, okay, I'm comfortable with the rules of the game, I'm comfortable with Magic, I want to take it to another level, and I want to get more practice. And I would say it would be a lot easier to learn the basics at the local game store, because you get a much more interaction with your opponents and other players, and you can ask a lot of questions and they can answer you a ton at the same time. You can talk to judges and learn the rules of the game. That was something I did when I started to take the game to a more competitive level. Like, you should do this anyway at the beginner level, because you need to know the rules of the game. You should ask constantly questions about the rules, how they work. And a good thing about online later is that it enforces almost all the rules, so you get to know what you can or cannot do. But I would say start on paper, and then so long as your local game store isn't full of like dicks, just stay there until you're comfortable to play online. Online it's not as competitive as it was in the last few years, because the software got a lot better. Before, when the software was supreme trash, like we're talking, this thing would crash like every single match. Every match I had, the client would crash and I would have to restart. That's what it used to be like, and it turned off a lot of players, and only the most hardcore, strong players would play online. But now it's gotten a lot softer. I can't say the competitive leagues are nearly as razor tough as they used to be. Still full of great, strong players, but like it used to be a lot more cutthroat than it is today. So it's a lot more welcoming to newerish players, but still, it's oh, they got a Ghost Quarter, so they can Ghost Quarter the Shambling Vent. Throws a wrench in our plans. We still are outnumbering them with creatures, big time. So, well, we get a bunch of triggers, and we just need to hit for 5, so that's enough. Actually, hold on, let's cancel. Let's play Harbinger first, cast, draw a card off of Thought-Knot Seer, and see what that does. I would like to cast the card. Okay, let's bounce the Thought-Knot Seer. They got, like, the combo in play. They have everything. Okay, they saw enough. Look, you have 4 blockers, damn it. But they know they have to block, they have to chomp with everything. Alright, so we won our first match against Eldrazi and Taxes. Let's get to look at the chat. Holy crap, haha, yes. Yeah, play with your friends, that also helps. As an employee at a local game store, glad to hear it. Oh yeah, like local game stores, they play a really good part. In my opinion, I think I really want there to be a great client online so that competitive players have like no reason to go to a local game store. I think the local game store should be for super casual type players, where like and I would hope that the prizes are large enough online to incentivize the most competitive players to stay there and make Friday Night Magic as casual as possible. Like even if people net deck, they're like playing it in a blunderous way that they don't have like a super serious advantage. Magic is just not a very good game competitively. In my opinion, the best form of Magic is probably Commander, where the foundation of Commander is to have fun and for everyone to enjoy themselves, whereas any local game store tournament is basically about winning prizes. Winning prizes is the hierarchy. So at the top is winning prizes. Number 2 is like winning. Number 3 is, I don't know what number 3 is. Having a good deck. Number 4, maybe get out and meet your friends. Whereas with Commander, like number 1 is like have fun. Number 2 is cooperate with each other in some way. You know, Commander players, they don't even kill off somebody, and they always design their decks in such a way that is in the spirit of Commander. You know, you use random commons and uncommons to enjoy yourself. And so that sort of environment is much more conductive to getting bigger and being more friendly. Whereas you look at like if the number 1 thing is to win prizes and win, then all of a sudden all the incentives are going to be like get a good deck, get really good at the game, maybe rules lawyer people. And competitive environments are harsh. I mean, this is the reality of the world. Like they're not so friendly. They're not as friendly as they look. And I mean, I would love people to be more sportsman-like, but still at the same time, you know, I've played a lot of chess and poker, and even the most gentlemanly of people still, you know, they still steam, they still fume. It's an emotional thing when in a competitive environment, and emotions will rise. And it's just, in my opinion, it's the natural form of the environment. So I think it would be good to get all the competitive players online where you don't have much interaction. Like you, at the best, you can like, I don't know, say something mean in the chat box, but that might get removed going forward. Like in Hearthstone, you can just say "well played" and you know, these one-line bubbles. So anyway, I think that's my opinion. We gotta like move the competitive players online. Happy New Year, everyone! I missed it, but don't worry, there's never too late. Happy 2008. We're gonna make Merfolk great again in 2008. You're hearing it here first. Nikachu MTG streaming for 2008. So like, so maybe some people have some opinions about this. It was the guy who Crescent Dagger. You were the guy who tweeted me a picture of your new Merfolk deck the day, and I was curious how to expand outside my limited friend group. That's what I'm here for. You know what? I love helping people play Merfolk, build good decks. For the most part, you know, I'm pretty relaxed with people's builds. I just make sure that people don't play any garbage cards, like if you're playing with Spellskite or if you're playing with Phantasmal Image at the wrong time. Right now, I'm not really a big fan of like, for the most part, I think Phantasmal Image is not good in Modern, but there just happened to be like a moment, probably somewhere between the early July to the end of October, where Electrolyze didn't exist, and having a lot of lords in the deck were good. So it was playing with Phantasmal Image, but Electrolyze is back in Jeskai, so basically the card is unplayable. It like lives and dies off of Electrolyze. Jeskai is back. Blue Moon is back. It's just too many decks with Electrolyze. So my local game store is very, very good. Level Up Games in St. Paul. I got into Magic by happenstance. I play fighting games, and they hosted us for Marvel vs. Capcom, and I was curious and got involved. That's awesome. Yeah, Magic is very involved in the world of geekery and video games. I love video games. I'm loyal to Nintendo, even though I bought a Wii U, and then like a year later they made the Switch. Thanks for switching consoles, Nintendo. But Mario Maker was well worth it. I basically spent like $500 for Mario Maker. I love to play the levels that are on like 0% completed or 0.0001% completed. Love the hardcore games. So Zadoa, how do I pronounce your name anyway? Zadoa. Close enough to me. My local game store's commander scene is ultra competitive and cutthroat. We have a guy who loves to play an Aetherflux Reservoir laser beam deck that wins by turns 3 and 4. Then tell him to get the hell out of here. Tell him to screw off. So Susie E. Magic the Gathering Online is full of the saltiest players. Oh yeah, of course, these people are super entitled. I have never had a live person smack talk at a local game store like some raging players online. Oh yeah, the people online, they feel incredibly entitled. Let's see. There's a store in my area that has competitive Commander, which is good because all the competitive EDH players go there, so my store is nice. Okay, it's 2018. Sorry about that. I want to live in 2008 all over again. It was a good poker year for me in 2008. So when does Nikachu start live streaming Mario runs? Do you know what? I would love to do that. The moment I can figure out how to attach that... Oh, you can't see. I have a television behind me. And my brother would love to do that too. Yeah, we like to trade off turns trying to save the princess. Like in Mario Maker, you can have some sort of, I don't know, some sort of journey. You have to, like, I think, win 20 competitive, hard Mario Maker levels to save the princess. Spoiler alert, my brother and I have never saved the princess. She doesn't deserve to be saved. So let's get on to our second game here with Tropical Merfolk. 4 creatures, 3 lands. Awesome, we're going to keep this. Our opponent mulliganed. Just hopped on my computer and saw you were streaming. Is this something that you are going to keep doing in the new year? I've been hoping to do this for a very long time, but Twitch was so intimidating in the terms of like how you set it up and stuff, and I decided to hell with Twitch. I'm not going to go with that. But you know what? I think OBS changed. Like the last time I opened OBS, they didn't have when I downloaded it for the second time, they sort of guided me into setting up my stream, whereas the last time I did it, they didn't do something like that. So I have a breeding pool in hand. Okay, so we're up against Storm, like 1,000%. So I guess we're gonna play the Flooded Strand first. Alright, we're going to get an island. We need to save life so that we don't lose to Storm so easily. And hopefully if we draw an island, I'll play Harbinger of the Tides off of it. I don't want to I don't want to sacrifice the life with the breeding pool. A lot of people think, oh, let's play breeding pool now because we're going to play it eventually. No. You try to... If I fled out, then paying 2 life with breeding pool was like completely pointless. So anyway, I hope to do some streaming going into the future. Oh, we got Spell Pierce. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see. So it doesn't look like I'm allowed to save life. I'm just gonna have to feel the burn. Hey, did our opponent miss a land drop? They missed a land drop. They're in trouble. It's fine by me. Uh-oh. That can't be good news. There's Brawl. Uh-oh. No. Turn off auto yields. Okay, good. Get that command speaker in play. So now we have to be a little bit cautious. Yeah. We can't tap out or we're going to lose. But we're in... I don't want to say we're in great shape, but we're in okay shape. The problem is our opponent might have like a billion rituals in their hand. That's the problem. Our opponent could have like just tons and tons and tons of gas. So I'm most definitely going to be ticking this vial up to 3 and hopefully sort of combo off. We'll let Serum Visions resolve. I'm going to save the Spell Pierce for something incredibly good. Bottom, bottom. Comes a land. I think I'm going to Spell Pierce this. I don't even... What happens when this happens? They get 2 mana, then they can play a Ritual. I don't want them to play too much mana. Been meaning to ask what your thoughts are on the Pauper format. There's no... Brownie, there is no Merfolk deck playable in Pauper, so I am very horribly uninterested. There is a mono blue deck that I'm interested in, but aside from that, there's too many formats. Like, the next weird format that I should get into really is Commander, where like a 1 versus 1 Commander. I would be interested in that. I like singleton formats. I think they're cool. Okay, good question. Can I win in any capacity next turn? I could Violin Rajiri, hardcast, tap something, or untap Mutavault, attack for 4, 8, 16, potentially, if I draw land. If I'm looking at this right. Okay, let's Spell Pierce this. And maybe if I draw a Lord, like an Island Walk Lord, that would also win me the game. With no red mana, they can't really do anything this turn. So if we draw an Island Walk Lord, we win on the spot. Because we can deal 16 damage with the Mutavault. And we will tick up the Vial up so that we can get Marija in play. Spreading Seas is not really appealing to me right now. Six, 12, not enough to win. Whoops. I wonder if there's a world where we can put them down to 14 and then cut them off Shivan Reef. So besides Merfolk, what other decks seem like they would be up to your alley? I really like Bug Delver and Legacy. I really like the Delver decks in Legacy. I think they're really powerful. I'm only playing Merfolk and Legacy for you guys, basically. Okay, we got to, I think, put this in play. So I can hit for 12. I think I have to Spreading Seas the Spire Bluff Canal. And then hope to draw like Spell Pierce. I have 1 more Spell Pierce in this deck, in the main deck. Because playing the Marija doesn't do anything. Also, hold on. Okay, hold on. I could also attack for 12. That puts them down to 3. That's not really enough either. Spreading Seas is garbage in this matchup. Marija. None of these cards do anything. Okay, let's hope we draw a Spell Pierce. Honestly, we are not hoping to draw anything useful. Well, I mean, I guess... Whoa. Whoa. That's not good. And they get to loot. They discard another Brawl. Maybe their hand is weak. Anyway, we have to hope that they don't have Gifts Ungiven. Or they have Gifts Ungiven, but they don't have a lot of rituals. So this is the crossing fingers moment. Like, we either win or we lose. Let's hope we win. In some world, they might like shoot our board down with like a small grape shot of like 2, then 2 here, and then 2 here. Here comes the rituals. Here comes Goblin Electromancer. Hopefully for blockers. Oh, here comes a minor grape shot. It's not a big grape shot. Are they going to remand their grape shot back? Yeah, okay. They can grape shot one more time. They might kill the board off. But it's better they kill the board off than we lose the game. It's a lot better. So what's dying here? Just one lord. Oh no, they got the grape shot in their hand. So they can kill... Okay, with that desperate ritual, they should be able to kill off the rest of the board. 5 triggers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm hoping that Rivals give some cool stuff to play Simic Merfolk in Pauper. It'd basically just be a 60 limited deck, but it'd be fun. Do you know what? Yeah, maybe Rivals can help revitalize Merfolk in Pauper because it certainly has nothing going for it right now. And they printed things like Water Trap Weaver, so... And that's a totally playable card. Hey, Modern playable, so maybe Pauper playable. And the Joe says, oddly enough, I lost a Storm in the final, so I'm taking notes during this match. Oh, yeah. I wish I played this Mare Rejury now, because it would have exhausted, like, 2 more grape shots. So again, if we draw a... Well, they're out of cards, but unfortunately, our Mutavault doesn't outmatch this Goblin Electromancer and this Baral. But we do have a Spreading Seas. This is awkward. This is very awkward, because I want to cast this thing. But I also want to put the Mare Rejury in play first. So anyway, I guess we're gonna play Silver Gillidat first. That's pretty sweet. So we win next turn. If our opponent does nothing. Brick! 1 brick! Don't play Past in Flames. Play, like... Oh, come on! Why? 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 Was that on top of their deck? No. Whatever. So we're dead. We're dead. Okay, I'm not gonna waste the fans' time. Yeah, I know this story. Can they fizzle? Do you know what? They can't find... No, hold on. 1... Okay, I'm just... you know what? When in doubt, let's just let them do it. Let's just let them do it. Maybe we don't actually lose. They've got like a bunch of cards that they can play, but... Like they can create a very large storm count, but they can't remand the grape shot back to their hand, so they could fizzle. They actually can fizzle from here. So they're going to Serum Visions. So we need to hope for a lot of bricks off of Opt, off of Serum Visions, even off of the remands. But, I mean, it's possible. That's why you make them play out, boys and girls. You have to make them play it out. Yeah, we want bricks. Brick City. Show me the bricks. Nice. I can build you a nice wall, all made out of red. We're gonna lay the foundation. Bricks all day. So many other cards in their deck they could have drawn. Had to be Past in Flames. If it was, I mean, like, it was either Past in Flames or, I mean, between Past in Flames and Gifts Ungiven, I'm happy they got Past in Flames. This actually has some chance of fizzling. Gifts Ungiven would just win on the spot because they would Gifts Ungiven for Past in Flames, and then I would be ruined. Totally ruined because they could recast the Gifts Ungiven. Okay, so they're using this to draw cards. So they, okay, they cast Serum Visions, they put a card on top, and they put a card on top. So there's two useful cards on top of their deck. They need to draw into both of them. They've run out of blue mana, which is very interesting. Okay, forget what I just said. They found some blue mana. Blue mana has been found. There's the Gifts Ungiven. So this now makes everything probably pointless. It was important to put our opponent down to a very low life total. Another Grape Shot? I'll put Grape Shot and the Manamorphose in the graveyard, I guess. I have no idea how much this helps. Okay, so at this point I'm gonna F6. You kill me, you kill me. If you don't kill me, then you don't kill me. But it looks like you're gonna kill me. Played a lot of stuff this turn. We're at 13. 14. Hey, look at this little animation that they got here. Magic the Gathering. Look, the storm count is getting bigger. Ooh. Is this enough? Storm count 18. I guess. I mean, where'd the Past in Flames go? Oh, they cast it already? Cast Past in Flames from the graveyard. And they have a second Grape Shot, so, I mean, that'll work. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'm dead. I'm dead. Alright, moving on to sideboard. Let's move on to sideboard here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring in the Relic of Progenitus. Interacts very well with Past in Flames. Like, they need Past in Flames to resolve or nothing actually works. We're going to bring in Negate. It's a hard counter against everything. We're not going to bring in Unified Will because there are situations, just like in that game, where they had more or equal creatures than us. They had a Goblin Electromancer and a Baral, and we just had a Silvergill Adept and a Mutavault in play, and they can also at instant speed just play Lightning Bolt and take out a creature to nullify the Unified Will and give equal creatures on the battlefield. So because they're a combo deck that uses creatures, Unified Will actually not that reliable in this matchup, and they have a lot of interaction. They could bring in Pyroclasm. Sometimes they bring in Anger of the Gods, which is ridiculous, but you know they do it. So the cards we're going to want to take out are Water Trap Weaver. This is hot trash. This is not where we want to be. This is not where I want to be, and there's not. And Spreading Seas is terrible. So we're going to actually have to bring in a Water Trap Weaver. This unfortunately doesn't do anything. Neither does the rest of this. Spreading Seas is useless. They only need one red mana to operate to like play all their rituals, and then we lose horribly. And the rest of this looks good. All right, submit deck. Let's go beat that storm. Let's go beat those storm decks. I have tested a ton against Storm. Deck is so good when it's good. Oh, yes. Turn 3 combo deck will be always good. Good when it's good. We'll keep this. It has a fair amount of interact. It has Relic of Progenitus, which is the most important piece of interaction. I don't think there's any way we could lose it on turn 1. So we'll get Kumena Speaker in play. And next turn we'll play Relic and start using it. It's not a bad idea to play like Mutavault and like play the Relic immediately, because we could eat this card at end of turn, but I think the clock is worth it as well. So one thing that I try to exercise a lot with in this matchup is patience, and I'm forced to have patience in this match right now because I don't have the mana to play Master of the Pearl Trident or anything. But I don't like to tap out if I don't have to. I like to wait. So long as you have like untapped mana, they usually respect counterspells and the games can go very long. So long as you don't tap out, you should be okay. I have seen a lot less storms since October and November. Well, the hate has come out. Here comes Serum Visions. So keeping the graveyard really low is good, because whenever they play Past in Flames, they won't have these stupid cards in the graveyard to help storm off. Oh, Botanical Sanctum could not have come at a better time. So notice I'm playing this instead of the Mara Regery. I always want to keep Relic of Progenitus up. You know what? You never know when... I kid you not. These decks, they sandbag their Goblin Electromancers and their Barals. They'll wait till like turn 4 to play it and then go off all at the same time because they're afraid of Dismember out of us. They are afraid of Dismember, and to play around Dismember, they will just wait until we tap out. And so we could have tapped out with Mara Regery here, and they just untap, play a land, play Baral, Ritual, Metamorphose, Past in Flames, Gifts Ungiven into Past in Flames and all this other stuff, and then we lose. It's not where you want to be. So we got to be careful here. I'm really hoping our opponent passes the turn so that we don't get blown out by Pyroclasm. Sometimes our opponent plays it, sometimes they don't. So here's Pyretic Ritual. We might see a mini Grape Shot here, killing the Master of the Pearl Trident and the Kumena Speaker. But we'll see. See what happens. They might even play Metamorphose into like a Baral and then try to go off from there. Here's Lightning Bolt. Well, this is a very unimpressive turn. Oh, and a Grape Shot. Okay, so they used a lot of resources to do this. That's not so bad. They used 3 cards to kill our 2 creatures. And what I like is we can still play creatures and hold up the 1 mana that we need to crack Relic of Progenitus. Relic of Progenitus is really the best card you want in this matchup. Nothing competes with Relic of Progenitus here in this matchup. We drew a Negate, which is nice, but unfortunately it's going to be really hard to get the mana to use this thing. Because we have 3 drops. Look, this is my only Water Trap Weaver in my deck. It's the only one. It's basically a 3 mana Grizzly Bear. Pieces of the Puzzle. Okay, this is a very good card. Plays around like Dispel. I don't have them in my deck, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to hit this thing. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library, put up to 2 instant or sorcery cards from among them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. So they put Desperate Ritual and another Pieces of the Puzzle in their hand. So I drew a Mutavault. Pretty good. Let's play... Okay, we'll play the Mara Regery, and the reason for this is that if I could have attacked with the Mutavault and the Master of the Pearl Trident and hold up Negate, but I can only hold up Negate and Relic at the same time. I can't hold them both up at the same time, so let's just play one of them. I guess I can make them exile a card. We're threatening to win the game next turn anyway. So I have been following since you started brewing Blue-Green Folk. How has the 3 caverns been compared to earlier builds? They've been really good right now because there's a lot of counterspells in the metagame. I mean, even this deck is playing Remand. Piece of the puzzles, resolves. I think we win now. I mean, unless they have a lightning bolt. Put Past in Flames into their hand. Oh, I know what I could do. I could play Mararegery and untap Mutavault. And if our opponent... Like, here's our chance for our opponent to play Lightning Bolt. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Well, by fine, I mean whatever. And this time I think I'm going to hold up Negate, just in case they try to do some sort of shenanigans. Because I'm going to win next turn anyway. Make them exile card. Big fat graveyard, nothing to do with it. Because of the Relic. Relic is great. That's right, the Joe. We've got Relic. So any thoughts on Nissa, Steward of Elements in the deck or the side? I've been testing her, and she's not been bad when she hits the board. You know what? I agree. I have been in that similar situation myself. But I don't think... Like, it's a card that's, like... It's fine. It's good. But it doesn't fit a role where I need her. Like, she was really good against a control deck. And I felt, well, I'm going to beat this control deck anyway. And she's not really that high impact. Or she's... not filling voids where I need help. Like, where is she against Titan Shift? Where is she against Lantern Control? So we really need cards that help the really super terrible matchups, and she just doesn't do those things. Black mana, oh my god, what is going on here? That's scary. Or is this like a Gifts Ungiven? I don't want this thing to resolve. I should have been writing down like what my opponent has. I think they have another... No, they don't have another pieces of the puzzle. They have a Past in Flames in their hand. Okay, I guess I'm going to let that resolve. I'm going to keep playing this game. Okay, Serum Visions resolves. I still have lethal on the table, but I have to tap out for it. And if my opponent has Lightning Bolt, then they live. Silvergill Adept. I also feel I'm in a situation now where I don't want to tap out. But I tell you what, with Mararegery on the board, I can play Silvergill Adept, untap. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to play Silvergill Adept. I get to untap a land. So I can have Negate and Relic of Progenitus up at the same time. Ooh, another Negate, not bad. We're going to have double protection. So how important is that to me? Honestly, it's important. I don't like that. See, that's how I could have lost. I could have just attacked with everything and then just snap lost. We're gonna be patient. I think I'm way ahead here, to be honest. I've got 2 counter spells in my hand, like a bunch of creatures on the board. I feel like if I just don't get stupid greedy, I should win this in the end. Our opponent has Past in Flames. The moment they use that, I crack the Relic of Progenitus. Not a big deal. And our opponent has 4 cards in hand, but like a ton of them can be air. They can just be air. Ooh, we have Mystery Rainforest. Not bad. I'll take it. Let's start to threaten to kill our opponent. That was pretty cute, wasn't it? With the Manamorphose, they got black mana to play Dismember. So we'll exile a card. Before we pass the turn, like I don't know what our opponent can do when we're tapped out, but I'm not even going to take the chance. So we're going to go to our end step. Pyretic Ritual, sure. You trying to scare me? Another Pyretic Ritual, sure. So you have 1 Past in Flames in hand. So it was all a ruse. They were trying to exhaust my counterspells for nothing. I saw through the ruse, people. Nikachu sees through the ruse. Nikachu is now also going to exile our opponent's graveyard. And that's it. We played patiently, and it paid off. You got to be patient. You have to be patient. It went to turn 8, people. It went to turn 8. You want to be patient against Storm. If you're not patient, you're going to lose. You got to exercise extreme patience. I let all my lords die, but I had, because I had the interaction. I had the interaction to save myself. Although I have to admit, I didn't use my negates. So deck is fine. Deck is beautiful. Let's submit it. So Dennis says they should print a Merfolk version of Reclamation Sage. Yes, I would. I would totally go for that. So we have a hand that's fine. Our opponent mulligan, which is great. Anytime a combo player... Oh, our opponent mulligan down to 5! Anytime a combo player does this, this is great. I mean, they're playing with 2 cards. They're playing 2 cards down. Okay, so let's see, what do we draw? Oh, we drew a Botanical Sanctum. Because I have the Silvergill Adept, I do like it. I'll play the Command Speaker anyway. We may not be playing the Silvergill Adept next turn. We may not. I hope they have at least 1 modern playable Merfolk in the new set. Oh, the Joe. Oh, they're going to have modern playable Merfolk in the next set. Just like how they made modern playable Merfolk in this set. Grape Shot? Oh no. It's actually a pretty good idea. Oh, sad beans. This is terrible. This? Oh man. Do you know what? I regret not using this. I probably should have done that. I didn't play around grape shot for 1. Can you blame me, people? Can you blame me? Piece of the puzzle, negate that. That's card advantage. It's actually dangerous. Our opponent is down. We have to make sure they stay down. Let's keep the interaction up, just in case our opponent goes for a main phase gifts ungiven. There's a brawl, no big deal. There we go. There we go. Things are going to start cooking, people. I shouldn't have played the island. Because maybe we draw a Mutavault, and I would want to put that Mutavault in play. Alright, so we're going to pass the turn. Our opponent might just die really quickly anyway. Our opponent's flooding out. That's good. They deserve to flood out. They're Storm players. Screw them. I'm hoping this Silvergill Adept does not eat a Lightning Bolt. Does not. Play Ether Vial. And pass. And probably we are in excellent position to win. I hope like the Merfolk Lord that has been hinted at is not Merfolk Sovereign. That would make me sick to my stomach. Our opponent draws another land and is hating life right now. Is wondering, why Why do I have to lose to this Merfolk player? I thought Merfolk is like a good matchup. We have... to keep up Spell Pierce and Negate, I can't activate Mutavault, so I won't. And we have Lethal next turn anyway. So let's just do this. So there's no point attacking with Mutavault. We're going to kill our opponent next turn anyway. Might even be legendary if they're too scared of making something too strong, says Jonathan Jones. Do you know what? I would not mind if they made a legendary True Name Nemesis. That would be totally fine by me. So Metamorphose gets cast. Serum Visions, sure. I don't think any of this stuff does anything. I mean, if our opponent gets a timely Grape Shot, we could lose, I guess. But I don't want to like negate like a Serum Visions and then all of a sudden our opponent plays, I don't know, Past in Flames. Okay, so here's Goblin Electromancer, and our negate is going to eat anything. They can't even beat the board right now. And sure, okay, we're going to get in for everything. We're going to show off. They haven't even F6'd. No, let me put the Lord in play. Let me put the Lord in play. We beat Storm. Storm has been beaten for the billionth time. They didn't run very good, but I don't care. Because we played so well in game 2. That was so good. Next match, Tropical Merfolk. A lot of people don't believe in Tropical Merfolk. A lot of people believe in Tropical Merfolk. Merfolk community divided. Merfolk community also divided by Water Trap Weaver. So how has everyone spent their New Year's? I have spent mine being very close to a cup of tea. Very important for me. Something nice and warm. Keep me warm in this holiday season. I'm glad all of you are spending some of the new year with me. Maybe you're waking up in Europe already. It's nice. It's a nice 7, 8, 6 o'clock morning, wherever you are in Europe. It's a nice night, nice time to mellow out with Nikachu. I don't think I'll play a full league. Maybe I'll play a full league. I'll see. I'll see how I feel. Can't stay up too late. I'm not a pro streamer. I'm not a pro streamer. Like, half the reason I'm not like into literal streaming is it's just incredibly time consuming. Like, you have to be here and you have to keep to a schedule, and it like just consumes like so much more of your time than just being a YouTuber. How would most audiences fare if me just playing one game a week streamed? They wouldn't like that. So we won the die roll against Malloyd, and we've got cards, so we're going to keep this. A bit weird, it's a bit awkward, but, you know, we're going to take it. I don't want to play, I mean, to properly curve out, we're going to burn this Harbinger of the Tides for nothing, but whatever. We're going to do what we have to do, and then on turn 3, maybe play Maraudry, and then get super shenanigans with Water Trap Weaver. We're up against another Storm deck. Who said Storm is dying off? They lied. Storm is everywhere. Storm to the left, storm to the right, storm from above, storm from below. I'm the kind of guy who carries an umbrella and the rain is attacking me from below. Spreading Seas. The only time I would ever play Spreading Seas is if I figured my opponent has like no land and they really need this red mana for whatever reason. I hope they don't have the Lord give fish trample, also a stupid interaction. Trampling fish. Super happy with Tropical Merfolk having both tropical feels more powerful so far. And Jonathan Jones says, I spent it at home playing Tropical Merfolk on Magic the Gathering Arena. I have also been playing on Arena. Fantastic. It's definitely gonna be the program that replaces everything. I guess we have to play Botanical Sanctum. And the situation here is... we don't have any way to interact with our opponent, so we have to hope that they just can't combo off, and we have to put like the fastest clock we can possibly put on the board. It's really unfortunate. Like, I don't want to tap out, but it's game one. I don't have any real interaction anyway, so we just have to hope that we can win from here. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have the right pieces in the hand to combo off. Well, they're thinking about it. Taking that damage is big. That's no small feat. Then a cool Nikachu stream came about. Ooh, gifts ungiven. Here comes my hell. This is sort of difficult because usually I'm making these decisions when my opponent's graveyard is sort of full and my opponent's hand is sort of empty, and right now it's opposite. My opponent's graveyard is empty, my opponent's hand is full. Which implies I'm assuming I need to get rid of as many rituals as possible, so we're going to put the rituals in the graveyard. I'm hoping that slows our opponent down, but it might not. We're going to do our best. So I guess Spell Pierce would be a good draw right now. Harbinger of the Tides would not be so bad because I could flash it in at their upkeep and take them away, take them off a piece of mana. So the Joe says, I've gone up against Mono Blue Merfolk twice now with my Tropical Merfolk and went 2-0 both times. Yeah, I think Tropical Merfolk has a huge advantage. Our curve is lower, we have more tricks, and we have it all. So we can get 2 triggers off of Water Trap Weaver. We can untap the Mutavault. We can tap the Brawl down. These interactions are very poor in this matchup, but we'll take it anyway. And I guess we should just Spreading Sea something. Oh, got another Spreading Seas. Okay, hit for 5. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have rituals, can't combo off. They would need one more land to play Past in Flames and be able to play the Pyretic Rituals and all this other stuff in the graveyard. Looks like something's going to happen. So they'll now have 4 mana, so they can play Past in Flames now. But then I never really liked Master of Waves as much. Wreath Red says. I guess I can F6 here. I have no response. Master Waves, though, one of my favorite cards. Oh man, has Master Waves helped me win so many games and in such spectacular. So while our opponent combos off, I can focus on the chat now. So Dennis P asks, what about a lord that gives other merfolk flash speed that would be interesting for either 2 mana or 3 mana if it also gives +1/+1? See, merfolk enters the bat. So a merfolk lord that gives our creatures flash? I think that would be good. And if it had flash itself, I think that would be very good. I think it would help a lot. It might even help just remove Aether Vial, although I'm not entirely sure. It would be a very interesting thing to playtest. I think cards like Teferi, Mage of Zalafir is also good because their opponent can't play instant speeds anymore, or anything at instant speed anymore. But I think having flash is very good. Having flash in general for our creatures is very, very good. So Phenomenal One says, slowing purchasing the fetch lands in paper to get tropical, but being a Magic player while married puts you on a budget. Yeah, it's true. But remember, you can play any fetch lands. We're talking Flooded Strand and Polluted Delta. And I don't even think it's correct to play too many fetch lands. I'm only playing 4 in my build. I only have 4. I don't think it's that big of a jump. I think the most expensive thing, honestly, is like Botanical Sanctum, because this is a standard playable card right now. It's really hot. It's really hot in standard, so the price of this thing is super pushed. very undeservedly, and we really need it for Tropical Merfolk in Modern. So Jonathan Jones suggests that Phenomenal One should have married the Merfolk deck instead. And Jan Shevik, wow, Nikachu streaming. Yes, I'm streaming live. You're watching the first stream of Nikachu. It's a lot easier than I thought it would be. I always thought it was going to be a ton of work. Sort of spent the better half of today trying to figure it out, playing with OBS in the background to make it look like my YouTube channel. So what would we want from the upcoming Merfolk Lord, blue or blue-green or green? From Pecan Fern. Do it. I would love a hexproof Lord. I would really love a hexproof Lord. That would help so much. Like, I don't know if it has to be all other well, it could be all other Merfolk at +1/+1 and a hexproof. That would be fine because you could Violet in response to removal spells, and that would fizzle the spell. Because the Merfolk Lord itself would probably be vulnerable because it's all other Merfolk. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. We took out all the Spreading Seizes because they're useless. We'll take out the Water Trap Weavers. Well, 2 of them. We'll bring in Relic. Interacts with the Graveyard for Past in Flames. And we bring in Negate because it counters everything. So Grayson Compton asks, are you going to add in a singleton of Kopala, Warden of Waves, and Tropical Merfolk, or do you feel it's not yet needed? I don't think it's needed. I'm not really starving for Kira or Kopala. If there were a ton, if the Jeskai deck really took off, then maybe I would want it. But there aren't enough Jeskai-like decks. Like there have been situations in the metagame where there's like a ton of Jund and Abzan and then Blue-Red Control or Blue-Red Temple, like when Splinter Twin was around. Like when Splinter Twin was around, it was totally legit to play with like 3 Kiras. 3! 1, 2, 3. Unos, dos, tres in your 75 because of just how much removal there is in the metagame. So this hand is sort of poopy, but it's got Spell Pierce and it's got 2 Vials, and we can, by keeping a bunch of mana untapped, we can probably bluff more interaction than we actually have. And we can just slowly deploy creatures and play with Master of the Pearl Trident and Harbinger of the Tides. So Jan Shevek asks, what's the current result and how many matches left? I've won 2 matches. We beat Eldrazi Taxes. We beat a Storm deck just before, and right now we're down 1 game against Storm. Match 3. This might be my last match of the night. We're gonna let that resolve. So most lords have the ability, and also give it to others. Merfolk lords are special. So what's the plan for Stonefolk testing? I am playing Online Legacy a lot. The plan is throw myself into some competitive leagues and see how it works out. That's the plan. And Stonefolk is just an idea I've had for a very long time. Just have not gotten around to playtesting it because I don't know. I wasn't sure if I could believe in it before. Like, even for preparing for GP Vegas, I wasn't sure if that's what I wanted to do. So I guess we'll play the Ether Vial. We'll pass. I sort of want to get in for 2 damage because it's free damage right now. So anyway, this Spell Pierce, I don't mind burning it like really early against a Storm deck because there's no guarantee that I can actually use it. Because like now that Brawl hits the board, there's a pretty good chance that like Spell Pierce is just gonna hit air. So 4 minutes until New Year for you. All right. Don't worry, Reeves. Yeah, New Year's coming. New Year comes for us all. Ooh, Merfolk Branchwalker. Beautiful. So should I play the Merfolk Branchwalker or should I attack for 3? No, I should play the Merfolk Branchwalker. I have to play the Merfolk Branchwalker. Love to take 2 life. I'm going to take all the life. So we drew an island, not bad. Played a land already. Pass the turn. We're not in good shape because we don't have very good interaction. We have a lot of we have a decent chunk of pressure in our hand and on the board, but like if there's too much pressure, our opponent will just go for it mindlessly. When do you feel Disdainful Stroke is better positioned than Unified Will? When Control and Storm is super big. The fact that I'm playing all these Storm matchups suggests that I should have Disdainful Stroke over Unified Will. Like, Disdainful Stroke is still very playful against Blue-White Control and Storm, whereas Unified Will is garbage against both of them. And the reason that I was playing a little bit more... Well, I mean, I played Unified Will at my local game store when I won this 1.5k, and I just know that not a lot of people play Storm. There's some people who play Blue-White Control, but I wasn't too concerned about that. I was much more concerned about Storm. Storm is a much more dangerous deck. So if I knew the metagame is full of Storm, I would play Disdainful Stroke. Here's Pyretic Ritual. It's like, when do I burn this, guys? Because they clearly have a bunch of stuff in their hand. But I'm just going to let it resolve. If they play something like Gifts Ungiven, I'll counter it. I'm just hoping they don't play any more rituals. They keep playing more rituals. We're in trouble. We're in trouble, guys. And gals. I guess it didn't matter. If I countered the first one, they could just ritual off again anyway. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. So Phenomenal One says, you know, he could see a blue-green Lord that has hexproof, but just gives all other folk +1/+1 and Island Walk, which would be nice. And the Joe says something similar to the Lord of the Unreal for Merfolk would be good. So Pecan Fern says, how would a new style Lord be? Enter the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on all other Merfolk. Whenever another Merfolk starts, put a counter on the Lord, or whenever another Merfolk starts, put a counter on that Lord. I don't know, like, you know, there's things like Metallic Mimic, which are very time sensitive. Ugh, look at our opponent. I guess we put the rituals in the graveyard again? Oh, but they have another ritual. Okay, well, let's put Grape Shot in the graveyard then, and we'll put one of the bigger rituals in the graveyard. I mean, I guess we're just stone dead. Sometimes you gotta lose. You just gotta lose. There's no shame in losing, people. There's no shame. I've lost a million times. You know, whenever I lose and I'm frustrated, I just think, you know what? I've lost like 1 billion games of Magic already. What's one more? What's one more game? So what I wanted to say, Pecan Fern, is that there's the cool thing about Lords like Master of the Pearl Trident and Mara Regery and stuff like that is that they're good no matter when you put them into play. If you put them early or late, they're great. Whereas something like Metallic Mimic is only good if you put it early. So I have no idea how good a Merfolk Lord would be if there was an Enter the Battlefield effect. Because if it was the first thing I play, then it won't do anything. That is the problem. Unless we have a Metallic Mimic that when it enters the battlefield puts a +1/+1 counter on everything that we control. That could be big. That could be gold. Ugh, Past in Flames. Yes. So Jonathan Jones asks, I doubt they would just give us Thalia's Lieutenant, but a Merfolk instead. I'd hope they are done with the new Lords. And Dennis P, I think Wizards is too scared to give Merfolk access to Hexproof or Shroud. It's such a strong ability, which they don't really print many of anymore. You know, they don't print much. Well, they still print it, but they put it on really garbage cards. Like, they make sure that the card costs like 6 mana or something. They make it super underwhelming. But Hexproof is a thing. Like, it's a blue thing. Give us our Hexproof. Oh man, the storm count is high. But if fairies can have Shroud, then we should have Shroud. And hell, I'll take Shroud. It's not like we target our Merfolk all that much. Our opponent has too much mana for the Spell Pierce to be useful. Those were printed back in the day. Nowadays, I think they don't really make many hexproof cards. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, they still, I mean, they printed a bunch of hexproof cards in Rivals of Ixalan, but they're all trash. There's like a green one, green 3 colorless. It has hexproof. It's a 2/2 creature, and you get to put a +1/+1 counter on something. It's not very good. Yeah, it just seems like Ixalan. Well, yeah, Ixalan is counters are the thing in Ixalan, that's for sure. Shroud in the Mirror sounds awful. Doing what the mirror in general is awful. And I could see Athalia's Lieutenant in Merfolk as well. I don't know if it would be good though. I believe we're dead. Alright, concede. Okay, I will play. Okay, we'll play one more. I'll play one more. Nikachu getting tired. Nikachu's old. Nikachu's old. Oh my god, my classes are gonna be like, I have to bus to university for like 1.5 hours for a class that starts at like 10 o'clock in the morning, which means I have to wake up at least at 8, but really probably something like 7:30 if I want to eat breakfast and prepare a lunch. Oh, it's gonna be brutal. So, Yanshevik really hopes that they reprint Curse Catcher so Curse Catcher can drop dramatically. Yes, and so it's no longer a budget version. I don't have to play with stupid budget versions like Mausoleum Wanderer in my Poor Folk videos. When Andrew Dryden said the mirror is swinging in the dark, it was spot on. Yes. That's basically it. That's how I see Merfolk. Who picked up the promo Silvergill Adept? Have those been given out? I know the stores have them. My local game store has received them. I don't know if they've given them out yet though. Those shouldn't be given out until next week. Yeah, that's probably true. So Pecan Fern, wherever you got that Silvergill Adept, just keep it to yourself so that person doesn't like lose their license to be a local game store. Oh, we're up against Affinity. And our hand is, it's okay, but it needs a little bit of interaction. Like we've got Ether Vial, we have a bunch of Lords, so we have a lot of good qualities to our hand. It would be nice if we went first, that would be the best quality. Our opponent has so far, well, let's see what their follow-up play. You know, you can't judge an Affinity's hand based on their turn 1 play. It's based on their turn 2 play. So Steel Overseer is not the end of the world. If we draw Harbinger of the Tides, we're going to be in good shape. Because bouncing that thing once is back-breaking. So the situation is we just have a bunch of Lords, and Silvergill Adept is pointless to play right now. So the theory goes, if you have a bunch of Lords, just play them, because like, what are you trying to draw with your Silvergill Adept? The fastest clock is just putting all the Lords in place, so you just do that. So we might have a very good... And I can play Mara Rejury next turn and Violin Silvergill Adept, and then we probably go off the turn. What? Okay, whatever. Standard. Very standard. So we're going to get hit for a pretty decent chunk of damage. Hopefully our opponent has no more follow-up after this. Uh-oh. A second Steel Overseer. Well, that wasn't part of my plan. Maybe we can still race this, though. Maybe we can still race this. Steel Overseer can't attack if they keep, like, pumping up all the creatures. Well, that was... Oh, they're putting it on the stack. Okay. Oh, but then they can't attack with the Blinkmoth Nexus. They can't attack with any of this stuff. We can beat this. Yeah, we're on game 1 here against Affinity. We can beat this. So Phenomenal One asks... Actually, a good question would be, if we do get something like a new Lord, what would you take out to fit in the new? Well, I mean, Mara Rejury is a pile of trash. I hate Mara Rejury. It's too clunky for the deck. Like at 3 mana, I want to play a 2 mana Lord and hold up Dispel or Spell Pierce or Vapor Snag or Dismember, stuff like that. So the number one thing I want to remove it would be Mirror Regery. That would be the first thing to go out. I do not like. I am not a fan of Mirror Regery. It's just too clunky. Okay, we'll play this. There's just like nothing we can do with the mana. So I probably at end of turn I'm going to flash in Silvergill Adept. I think we're in decent shape. We are in decent shape here. Maybe there is some world where our opponent... Well, I guess they could attack with Steel Overseer if they wanted to. Oh, these Steel Overseers are going to make everything really big. So we have to be able to survive this turn and the next turn. Because Steel Overseer is going to make everything super big. And the Steel Overseers themselves will be super big. So we're going to get hit for 7, and then next turn we could get hit for a ton. I tell you what our biggest problem is, and that is getting through the a blocker. Because we can hit them for a ton of damage next turn. Oh, do you want... I forgot about the Signal Pest, how it like buffs everything else up. So we could get hit for... We just got hit for 8. Next turn we could get hit for 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Uh-oh. So we have to win now? So we need to find a Spreading Seas. To Spreading Seas the Blinkmoth Nexus. Or a Harbinger of the Tides. That would also help. It's not a Harbinger of the Tides or a Blinkmoth Nexus. I say, or a Spreading Seas or Harbinger. 3. Ah, we're just going to lose to Flyers in the air. I don't know if a blue-green Lord would be better. I mean, it would be playable, but certainly anything that costs less devoted mana would be good. Do you know what I would love, though? It would be great to have like a replace Botanical Sanctum with like a Wanderer Wine hub for Merfolk. We can hit for a lot of damage here, but not enough. That Galvanic Blast set us back too much, and being on the draw set us back too much. Our hand was great, though. We just need a little bit of interaction. We just need a little bit of interaction. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to feign some weakness. Maybe we can get our opponent in a situation where they're not going to go for it. I'm just going to keep a bunch of stuff untapped, make it look like I've got Vapor Snag or something, and that they're in a position where they might lose the game. And maybe they will just pass the turn to us. Because they could certainly block really well right now. The thing is against Affinity is that if you have an Aether Vial on 2, that it can represent Harbinger of the Tides. So if our opponent goes for an attack, tries to go for the win, it like could just fall flat on their face. So like if they use both, if they attack with Blinkmoth Nexus, Signal Pest, and tap both their Steel Overseers, and I have Harbinger of the Tides, they lose. But if they pass, then they have a chance at still winning by like tapping their Steel Overseers every single turn at the end of my turn. And their creatures outclass my creatures for the time being. And they still will. These Steel Overseers can become 6/6 creatures. If I just put one Lord in play, my creatures are 4/4s. So it looks like they might just go in with Inkmoth Nexus. I'm hoping that they don't go for it. But it looks like they're going to go for it. Looks like they're just going to say, do you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I can win right here, right now. Oh yes, I would love a Merfolk Temple. That'd be great. So there's 9 power on the battlefield. Don't do it! Don't do it! Well, they're committed. We're gonna lose this game. Yes. Oh, please don't give fish trample. I thought, Jonathan Joes, I thought I read that as don't give a fish temple. You know, Eldrazi has a temple. Why can't fish have a temple? We deserve a temple. They click through their attack step! Victory is ours! I wonder if he's gonna ask, like, you know what? I would concede to this guy. It's clearly like a misstep. If he asks me, he's just saying like geez in the chat box. This is my first time playing since Magic the Gathering update, and my shortcuts are changed. Whatever. Okay, we're gonna be very loyal to him. I know I'm lost. We're gonna let him win. We're gonna show lenience on stream, even though we're up against Affinity. I don't mind when people click through their attack when there is the slightest potential of, what's it called? There's some doubt, the slightest shadow of doubt. However, there was no shadow of doubt there. There was no doubt there whatsoever. And I also will not concede to someone who's really super fast, like they're playing incredibly fast and perhaps a little bit sloppy. And it's like a friendly league. I don't care all that much. Okay, let's bring in the Ceremonious Rejections. Let's bring in the Gut Shots. They're incredibly good. This other stuff is nonsense. Take out Spell Pierce. This is awful. Wire Trap Weaver is good. We might actually not bring in Ceremonious Rejection. Commander Speaker. Oh, no, actually, I take out Commander Speaker because Commander Speaker puts me in a situation where I can I could take a land out probably. A 19 land deck is fine. Bring in a Commander Speaker, take out an island. The thing is with Commander Speaker, one of the biggest cards that could kill us is Whip Flare, and if we play any way we roll out our curve with Commander Speaker into Lord, leaves us vulnerable to Whip Flare. So what I want to do is ideally play Lord into Lord before I start playing these things. And I think I would rather have Ceremonious Rejection. It's okay, we're gonna beat this guy anyway. Oh, Gut Shot. But no lands. Sure. Now I want the Commander Speakers. We'll keep this. We'll put that on top. We need to play something. We need some beef. How helpful would a temple be for fish? Make lords cost 2 less? Hey, anything. If I could play turn 1 Lord of Atlantis, I am so in for that. Man, do I wish this Mutavault was an island. So our opponent is going to have a fine turn this turn. Hopefully it's not super busted. Metalcraft Online. Thoughtseize. Sure. Damian Newman says, "You are a better man than me. I'm not as good as you think I am." Eye of the Merfolk. Merfolk spells cost blue less to cast. Oh my, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. A play on Eye of Ugin. Even colorless less to cast, that would be fine. Like, put it in play, and then later Silvergill Adept only costs 1. I'd be totally fine with that. The Eye of Atlantis. Why Thoughtseize versus Merfolk? You know what? Thoughtseize comes in against a lot of matchups, but yeah, it's a little weird in this case. So if I don't draw an island, I'm gonna vial in the Silvergill Adept, and I'm just gonna hope to draw an island so that we can get the Ceremonious Rejection online. Oh, we're gonna get it online anyway, so that's good. Don't actually know why I'm playing the Silvergill Adept right now. It's pointless. So I'm just vulnerable to Whip Flare for no reason at all. So the Signal Pests are only attacking for 2. Pathetic. Just pathetic. So Ceremonious Rejection cannot counter Master of Ethereum. It cannot counter Vault Scourge. I guess we can let the Spring Lift Drum resolve. They know we have Ceremonious Rejection. They know. Serious stuff. So if I draw lands or I draw creatures, I'm pretty fine with both of them. I'm not fine with that creature. That one's expensive. That one's very hard to cast. I really don't want to roll the vial up to 3. I think our opponent tried to cast something and then opted not to. I think they have Galvanic Blast in hand. The Temple of Atlantis. Andrew Day 2 Dryden wants something of the like of City of Atlantis to get printed, which is like a blue Urborg. Well, our opponent has decided, you know what? We got to attack. We must attack. So I'm going to keep the vial on 2. It's just not worth it to roll it up to 3 just for a Mare Regery. There we go, we got Lord of Atlantis. So I'm going to attack with Silvergill Adept. I'm not going to put Lord of Atlantis in play. But this might be a reason for me to roll it up to 3 next turn. If I can have 2 Lords in play, that's pretty good. See, if I put... I'm going to play around Whip Flare. Whip Flare is dangerous. Our opponent must have something incredibly good in hand that they don't want me to Ceremonious Rejection, because they've got a handful of stuff. I mean, it just might be all interaction. It might be like a bunch. It might be like 3 Galvanic Blasts. I've definitely seen that. They can't cast anything off of Springleaf Drum. They lost all their creatures, so I'm gonna Ceremonious Rejection this Signal Pest. I can't actually, if the Signal Pest hits the board, our opponent is attacking for a ton more damage than they were before. Uh-oh. Something good? Probably, what's it called? Cranial Plating. Oh yeah, there's Cranial Plating, which encourages me to speed things up with these lords. So let's try to put our opponent to lights out. I will tick it up now. We're going to go for the kill. Cost 1 to equip. Guess I'll just attack with everything. Attack for 11. Hopefully our opponent can't kill us. Do you know what? I didn't think about our opponent playing a second plating. And I don't know if I had to attack with so many creatures. It's like 1 land drop and then we might die to 2 platings? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if our opponent can equip 2 platings, we lose. The classic battle. Merfolk versus Affinity. Truth be told, we have a lot of resources now, though. You know, Ceremonious Rejection, it helps. It's helped keep us in this game. Our opponent saw with thoughts, oh, look at that, we got a game against Affinity. We've done it, people. Rejection is so much worse on the draw, but I guess we'll keep it anyway. Commander Speaker is not flattering. If we have a hand, is there a January Ask Me Anything? Absolutely. There will be every single month. Opponent kept our hand, we'll keep ours. Our hand is sort of poor. It's not really particularly impressive. But here's the thing, like, our Ceremonious Rejection might snipe off something on turn 2. There's a lot of good turn 2... Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you a Thoughtseize guy? That's so weird. Based on how the last game played out, I don't... Oh, look how scared they are of Ceremonious Rejection. I don't know if this should be in their deck. People have played... Like, I have seen this brought in against me from time to time, but it doesn't seem like where they want to be. Seeing as I just drew this Cavern of Souls, I'm going to try to not play this Flooded Strand. Like, this is a matchup where the damage could really, really, really matter. A Master of Ethereum. Okie dokie. Can I bounce this? I can. I guess I'm going to start playing Merfolk Branchwalker and probably chump this Master of Ethereum. We need to delay the game, folks. We need to delay the game. Unless I see something amazing on the top of my deck that changes my mind. I mean, maybe we don't need to chump. Maybe we can just take a ton of damage. We'll put that on top. Maybe we just get hit for like a brick of damage. And we bounce the Master of Ethereum with Harbinger of the Tides. And we get hit for 8. I'm not happy about that, but whatever. That's what happens. Okay, so we're going to attack for 3, and I'm going to play Harbinger, bounce something, and then the next few turns we can play Merfolk Branchwalker into Lord of Atlantis, and then hopefully finish our opponent off with a Spreading Seas. Not thrilled about seeing Blinkmoth Nexus, because I sort of feel like our opponent is representing something in the likes of like Galvanic Blast. And I want to keep my life total ahead, like above 4 life. And it doesn't look like I can do that anymore because the Blinkmoth Nexus next turn can put me down to 3. Oh lord, pretty good. Drat, this Flooded Strand is going to take See, here's the problem with playing fetch lands, people, and that's why I don't want to play too many. Like, it's a huge portion of our life now. So if our opponent attacks with, like, just Signal Pest and Ornithopter next turn, puts us down to... It'll put us down to... if I fetch, it'll put us down to 4, and then we die to Galvanic Blast. So, I think... Well, actually, okay, so let's Spreading Seas this first. I think what we're going to do, we can Spreading Seas the Blink Moth Nexus. Although I must say, this doesn't really play around Galvanic Blast very well. Merfolk. Let's play Lord of Atlantis. So we were able to save that life. I think I have to attack with Merfolk Branchwalker. Okay, what if you Galvanic Blast? What if I just pass? No, I can't win. So we're going to attack with Merfolk Branchwalker. Hope they don't have Galvanic Blast. And then block Master of Ethereum with our Harbinger of the Tides. We might get this, people. We might get this. If our opponent has a donut in hand, we win. Because we have a Lord and Lethal next turn. Play something. Put something on the board. Damn it, they don't put anything on the board. Ceremonious Rejection. Does that help? None of this matters, really. Our opponent has, like, lethal in the air, so we have to actually cancel this. Undo. There we go. Our opponent has lethal in the air, so we have to go for it right now, like this. This is lethal. Do we get there? Do we get there? Good games. Yes, good games. Unless you're trolling me. Merfolk Branchwalker, people, drawing us land, having just enough power to put our opponent away. And I think that is how we are going to start the new year, 2018, a win against Affinity. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching my very first stream. I hope I made it look like I'm a natural. Beating Affinity is always nice, and we gifted game 1 to our opponent after they misclicked. So we showed mercy and still showed them the door. Yeah. Is there any other questions? Anyone want to ask anything? Nice stream. Yes, I also believe it's a nice stream. And thanks for everyone who was here. It was very nice of YouTube to, you know, send out notifications to everybody that I was streaming. I didn't have to do any work. I didn't even alert anyone on my Facebook fan page or Twitter or anything. All you guys just came flooding in. We've got 32 of you guys watching. It's fantastic. Great turnout for a new year. A great finish for Tropical Merfolk going into New Year. Basically, we're free rolling going into the last round. Look at that. Fantastic finish against Affinity. They threw it all at us, so we threw it all back at them. Still, I don't like Tropical without Curse Catcher. Hey, you can play Curse Catcher in Tropical Merfolk, not doubting that at all. I think that is totally playable. I'm just playing without Curse. You know what the thing is? I am opting for Spell Pierce over Curse Catcher, that's all. So I think in a metagame where Spell Pierce is trash, that Curse Catcher should come out and is just a much better one-drop. So, like, Curse Catcher is still a playable card in this deck, no doubt about it, but I felt like, I want to have the Spell Pierce. Spell Pierce helped me a little bit. Like, it helped us against... It didn't help us in one Storm matchup, but it helped in another that we saw here today. Like, I wanted it in those random matchups against Storm. I wanted it against Jeskai. I wanted it in a lot of other matchups. I wanted it against Tron. I wanted it against Valakut. It's really good against Titan Shift. Very, very good there. So it will be even more people when it's not New Year's night. Yes, it probably will. Very happy that all of you guys showed up. For my first stream, probably going to be more streams in the future. I'm not going to do this super often, but I am going to do it like on some, you know, like once a month or something like that. We got to do this. We got to do this like here and there semi-regularly. So now that I learned how to turn it on, how the hell do I turn it off? Won't turn it off immediately. Oh, there, I see. There's a stop streaming button. Happy Thanksgiving, Nikachu. Hope you stream more often. Yeah, I will stream more often. Definitely greater than 0 times. Unlike the last... I mean, people have been asking me to stream for, like, the last 3 years. And I'm like, no, I don't really want to stream. I like the YouTube life. But YouTube then started their own live streaming thing, so sure, I'll do this. I just don't know how to accept donations. I don't even know if they're even offered. I know there's some way to donate money, but whatever, no big deal. No big deal, no rush. I figure it all out. I'll have an even greater overlay. Yeah, it's really early in the morning. It's like 1:30 where I am. Rethread. Anyway, Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for joining me. This has been Nikachu, streaming Tropical Merfolk in Modern.